fear of the cancel culture sweeping the rest of the media. Now, Michael Vaughan was finally cleared of historic racism allegations last week, ending a gruelling 2-year battle to prove his innocence. The former England cricket captain was accused of making racist remarks and slurs to Azim Rafiq and 3 other Asian players before a Yorkshire match in 2009. But the Cricket Discipline Commission dismissed the allegation due to a lack of evidence. But while the likes of The Telegraph and Fox Australia stood by the Ashes winning captain, the BBC acted as they do, as judge, jury and executioner by dropping him from his show the moment the now disproven accusation was made public. Vaughan has spoken out against cancel culture over the weekend, telling the Daily Telegraph, "I can absolutely tell you that it's real, and it comes through social media. It's so dangerous. You used to be innocent until proven guilty. You're now guilty until proven innocent. Your life gets completely put on hold. Whatever the accusation thrown at you, people on social media just will not allow you to carry on with your life while it's over your head." Now, predictably, the British Bashing Corporation has wasted no time in trying to bring Vaughan back into their fold, with sources close to the corporation revealing executives are meeting the commentator's advisors this week in a bid to bring him back. But Fleet Street legend Kelvin MacKenzie is with me now. And Kelvin, part of me actually wants Michael Vaughan to tell the BBC to go and stick their job offer, because they should never have suspended him in the first place.
No, well, a group employed by the BBC went to the BBC executives and said, we can't have him on air while this allegation is over. Honestly, it was like a court case in which Vaughan was correct. When he went into the court, everybody believed he was guilty, and especially the collection of liberals who wanted him to be guilty. This is a great British hero. It was a shocking, shocking act. I don't agree with that attitude of saying, shove it, right?
You think he should go back?
I think he should go back, and he should just be Michael Vaughan again and try and rebuild his life.
And prove to everyone that the BBC was wrong by sacking him in the first place.
And actually, in a funny way, being in the public eye now is a total nightmare if you are centre-right. If you're centre-left, you can be Alistair Campbell, get involved in the most terrible allegations. Yeah, they were disproved in the end, or they were seen perhaps not to be right. But if you are centre-right, honestly, you are guilty of whatever is said about you, and you are going to pay a huge price. I want Michael Vaughan to go back behind the microphone, and I want him just to say, that was a great ball, or that was a tremendous shot. And honestly, the BBC are going to have to just suck it up. And so will those I would like to see named in social media those collection of BBC employees who said, we don't want to work with him, and nor should we. Why don't we see what their names are? Where do they live?
Yeah.
What is their standing in society? It's always the same in social media. You can hide behind some false name, but you, of course, whether you're Dan Wootton, me, or any of your panel there, they have to give their real names, so everybody piles in as Jack and Jill and God knows what else. It's a most unfair way of thing being conducted, I must say.
But you're so right to make the point about it being one set of rules if you're on the centre-right political spectrum, because look at Azim Rafiq, the bloke who made all of these accusations. You know, he has been proven in text messages, completely undeniable, to be anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
He's not cancelled. Now, by the way, I'm not calling on him to be cancelled, but I'm pointing this out because there is a total discrepancy in the way that Rafiq has been treated compared to the way that Vaughan has been treated, when actually there's only evidence about racism by Azim Rafiq.
Yes, and of course, Mr. Rafiq, of course, picks up 200,000 quid, right, for suffering some racist abuse. I'm not saying I'm not in favour of him receiving any racism either, but I was absolutely hostile to the manner in which the ECB conducted this in public. These allegations, right, should be heard in private and then an adjudication made. Honestly, these people's lives, whether it's Matthew Hoggard or the rest of them, have been devastated by this.
And it drags on and on and on and on.
Well, what about all those guys at Yorkshire Cricket who have all suddenly one day, Lord Patel, he's gone already. Boom, he throws the lot of them out and then says to Yorkshire Cricket, by the way, we didn't do this correctly, it wasn't legally correct. Here's a load of cheques. Yeah. So Yorkshire Cricket Club are in the hole for £2 million.
But these organisations need to learn don't give in to the woke mob who is sending a few tweets. Because that's what this comes down to. They absolutely panic.
Yes, but this happens even in the media.
Oh, always in the media. The media is terrible.
You know, in national newspapers, if you run some story now and a couple of tweets saying, "Oh, that's disgusting. You're racist. We hate you. We're never going to buy you again," suddenly the executives all start running around at 100 miles an hour. Exactly. So there is no doubt being centre-right in this country is a disaster for somebody in public life. I feel desperate for Michael Vaughan. I hope he makes a huge success of the rest of his life.
Well, look, I agree with that, but I want to move on to this other scandal engulfing the BBC because it actually sums up the point you're making perfectly. Because our Eurovision entry, who's meant to bring the country together, she's actually a Boris-hating left-wing activist who actively campaigned for the former anti-Semitic Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. And in a series of shocking tweets, this is the 25-year-old May Muller, claimed that Boris Johnson did not deserve an ICU bed during his near-death COVID experience back in April 2020. She also branded the Conservative Party racist and elitist and said she hated Britain over the row over free school meals. Now, of course, she's performing in Liverpool next month, representing the UK that she claims to hate, with this song.
Instead I wrote a song about how you did me wrong. I could have cried at home and spent the night alone.
Now look, again, Kelvin, I'm not saying Ms Muller should be cancelled. You know, she can actually think whatever she wants. But it does show you how the BBC thinks, because there's no way, if she had expressed centre-right views, that she ever would have been
if she had said, "I'm fantastic for Brexit, right? We should blow up those boats coming over
Nigel
the channel."
Farage for Prime Minister.
Any of that, and gone into Liverpool? Oh, my God, what on earth would happen to her?
The Sun's my favourite newspaper.
Yes, exactly. I can't help but to buy. I'm rushing out to buy one right now. Very enjoyable. Right, honestly, she couldn't get into Liverpool. Do you know, it would be an absolute nightmare. Liverpool hasn't got any Tory... There are no Tory MPs, no Tory councils, no nothing for about 50 miles in any direction. It would have been impossible. So, look, I want the Eurovision contest to be very successul. I'd actually like her to win it, if that was at all possible.
Me too. And it's a good little song. I know you weren't sure about it, but I'm a Eurovision fanatic.
I think she's gone a bit commercial lately. Anyway, but but however, it is literally impossible. There is a huge divide in our country. And I'm not quite sure. My sense is that with social media, it's actually going to get worse. The great thing I'm looking forward to is if Starmer comes in, he will be the one. He will be the one we'll be throwing potatoes at, I'll enjoy that tremendously.
Kelvin MacKenzie.